friend over Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So today, I spent $900 on books. I just had to. I had to do it. I bought 11 volumes of Arnold Toynbee's A Study of History. I can't find it anywhere online, the whole series. And it was either $1,500 US or I think I paid $550 US. But then there was like postage and fucking all the bullshit. There was like an import tax as well. And I just pulled the trigger. Well, my wife did. She's like, all right, this is your Father's Day present. This is your birthday present. This is Christmas. It's all of it. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to preserve history here. When you can't find the books anymore, it's a problem. And I want the untainted books as well. I want the books that haven't been changed along the way to fit whatever narrative there is. I need to go antique and expensive. I can't wait to get it. So I'm like frothing, chomping at the bit to read these fucking books. And I paid $900 for it. I'm like, fuck you, I can't wait just to dig in. Delivery date between the 24th of June and the 22nd of July. I'm like, wow, by the time it comes, I'll be fucking over it. I probably won't even read the cunts now. I am fucking balls deep in reading at the moment. I get into these phases where something just captures my interest and I go full autistic on it, like Bitcoin. But history and like politics, not so much politics, but like maybe geopolitics, war, the Jews. I'm reading a lot about the Jews. I'm reading this book at the moment called Origins of Totalitarianism. And it's a fascinating fucking read. I'm only like 60 or 70 pages into it. And the whole first and second section is about anti-Semitism. It was written by a Jewish lady, Hannah Arendt, who's meant to be like a famous, one of the great minds on the subject. But this section on anti-Semitism is actually fucking fascinating. And it turns out I haven't really looked at anti-Semitism from a Jewish perspective before. Even though I just read Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman, the 1,200-page epic. That wasn't so much a book about anti-Semitism as it was sort of comparing, well, it was a little bit. It was a bit about how the Germans treated the Jews and how the Russians also were sus on the Jews. Most of the stuff I've ever read about the Jews is basically conspiracy theory stuff where they control the world and all that sort of stuff, which has a kernel of truth to it as well. So it seems that the Jews sort of bifurcated between the banker Jews who were helpful to the kings and queens of the European countries, specifically Germany, Austria, Hungary to a lesser extent, France, England, all of them, and not even so much the banksters, the Rothschilds, but the royals and the people in power of these countries use the Jewish banksters to fund various things they were interested in doing. And these banksters were pretty much connected all across Europe, so they were able to facilitate whatever a certain king or royal wanted, and they were given privileges, but the peasant Jews were not. They were just peasants. They were just poor peasants like the rest of us. And it seems these banksters kind of used the peasant Jews as a shield from all the shit they were doing. Like, everyone hated the Rothschilds, and they actually blocked, or they were stymieing the emancipation of the Jewish people by the fucking leaders of France and Germany and Austria and all these places, because they knew it would lessen their power. And it seems like one of the key moments in like anti-Semitism was the transition from like feudal states to nation states. So in that transition, there was sort of like a balancing out, like I wouldn't call it equality movement, but there was an equalization. The power sort of went to the state, and the aristocracy lost quite a lot of their power, but the Jews maintained it because of their connection with the state. So the original anti-Semitism was, well, when I say those Jews, I mean the banking Jews. The peasants were just peasants. So it was really the beginning of anti-Semitism was the aristocracy went after the banking Jews, but then that sort of became Jews. When things deteriorate, it just becomes Jews or Muslims. And you kind of think about like the history of the Jews. They got kicked out of Israel by the Babylonians, and ever since then they haven't had anywhere until Israel. So they'd had no political power, no governance until Israel. So ever since like the Babylonian times, they've had to fucking just rock up to country from country to country and just go, hey, I'm Jewish. Can I just live here? And no one really was that keen. So they would live there for a little while, and then things would go bad, and people would be like, it's the Jews' fault. I think most of it has to do with the banking. The Jews were the lenders. So in Christianity, Catholicism and all that sort of shit, as well as Islam, there's no usury. You can't charge interest. You can't lend money out for interest. So the Jews filled that void, sort of forced into banking, and they became useful, disposable helpers until like there must have been a point where the Rothschilds just got so much fucking power that they started taking charge. There's another book, The Rise of the House of Rothschilds, that Hannah Arendt, in this book, Origins of Totalitarianism, she mentions it. So obviously I need to pay $180 to buy that and read that. By the way, nothing I'm saying here is condoning the fucking genocide the Zionist Israelis are committing in Gaza at the moment. 110, I'm not doing that. What they're doing over there is an absolute fucking evil fucking, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's as bad as anything I've seen since I've been alive. What I'm doing is I'm trying to add some depth to my understanding of a people I don't really know that much about, because there definitely is, and I'm really not sure why the average Jew, like your average Jewish person, isn't more angry at the elite Jews who seem to have, throughout the last fucking at least 200, 300 years, have used your common peasant or normal, just everyday Jew as a shield and a scapegoat for every fucking dastardly fucking thing they've done. And it seems to be specifically the European banking elite Jew that seems to be causing most of the fucking problems. Anyway, I'm only 60 or 70 fucking pages in, but it is goddamn fascinating. It's a fascinating fucking book. It was recommended by Chris Hedges, the same guy who has recommended like the last 5 books I've read, and he's been absolutely fucking bang on with all of them. They're gold, and he's the one who mentioned that Arnold Toynbee thing as well. Anyway, I'll get back to reading and I'll report back. For now, that'll do, and I'll see you the fuck later.